হয় যদি 잠깐만.
It's pretty damn good.
I mean, if you were Zexis, you wouldn't have planned to be here in the first place. You're just like, well, at least they get that bare minimum. And we did talk to them a little bit earlier behind the stage, right, Seven, and they said they had some changes they want to make. I think I was with Potrix or so. They want to make some big changes because first day didn't quite work out. But I mean, 10K minimum, that is not many tournaments that have that price point at the bottom.
I mean, it was a team, right, that they didn't even know that they were going to be here until last week, so they have very little time to prepare. So hopefully now with one day under their belt, they'll be able to come out and actually showcase what they're able to do. If not, they're going to continue to be there towards the bottom.
And we'll dive into Mizex just a little bit after this as we take a look at the prize breakdown for our main event. It's $2 million, 400 grand for first place. Now, again, if you're at home using a calculator, obviously that does not add up to $2 million. But the important thing is that there's a lot of money to be won outside of that as well with our milestone, with our record breakers, which we'll get into when we get to the main event. It's not too big of a deal now because it's not relevant to the All-Star event. But the teams, that's what's relevant here as we'll take a look at all of our participating teams. And Seven, I think I was saying this to you last night, this morning, I don't know, it's all blended into one. Important part from Mizex, as you mentioned before, is that they can use this as a training ground. Like realistically, coming in last second, they weren't really prepared for this event, but use the information and the practice you're getting here right now, which is by far beyond better than anything you'll get in North America. Take that back with you, man, and run with that momentum.
It is. It really is, and I think that's why I want to see how this team is going to be reacting, especially after day one, right? They were able to do some scrimmage, but not as much as they expected to. Actually, we got a chance to talk to Peralta, and he was like, you know what, man, I thought we were going to be able to scrim a little bit more. They didn't get a chance to do that, so maybe now after all those matches, after being able to VOD review, even though their coach is not here, so the players themselves actually have to do a lot of the VOD review, which is going to make it a little bit harder on them. I'm hoping that they're going to be able to adapt in a big, big way today.
Yeah, I think we had some good fights from them, actually, on the Wrangle. I believe we had like a fight or two towards Millie Island and more specifically. So there is potential there. It's just I think they need to just kind of get a strategy to approach and adapt to all of these teams, which, as you said, not a lot of time to prepare. Hopefully the day of yesterday was like a glorified scrim for them, so they can bring that knowledge into today.
Yeah, I think for me, looking at them, I don't necessarily care if they get super far into the matches. For me, it's more about like, can they contend in like the 4v4 battles against some of these teams? Because you're looking at some of these teams who are like the Lionel Messi of PUBG Mobile. Like, it's going to be very difficult for them to compete, but if they can, which we did see a little bit of, that's a good sign. Then they have to work on more of their macro play and the rotations.
I feel like they need a little bit more confidence too. We saw it yesterday, especially we saw some teams that just weren't confident and willing to take a fight. Yeah. Come to mind, Iker. I mean, Miramar, you remember? We're looking at it, okay, like, what are they doing? They were just in a perfect area to actually cause a lot of damage, try to get a lot of eliminations. They were able to cause a lot of damage, but I feel like they could have done a lot more with their positioning.
I think that's one thing that we can keep saying over and over again for yesterday. It was a feeler team for a lot of these squads. I think a lot of the teams that have been voted in, they didn't qualify, so a lot of them got voted in. So for a lot of these teams and players, it's their first time at this stage at the LAN event, playing with 18 team lobbies in Pmwi. So that first day teams are like, okay, this is what we have to do to be able to contend at the highest level in PUBG Mobile esports. So yesterday, some teams might have struggled. I think that the leaderboards might be all over the place today.
Then you have the defending PMGC champions SGG, where they ended up performing
really
well.
It's just a normal tournament, Seven. It's just a normal
no, that's
$3
Vampire.
million
That's Vampire.
tournament. Oh, sorry, we were going on them.
No, not yet. I want to see more of SGG. I mean, the defending champions of PMGC, yeah, they get voted in. Yeah, they have had a bunch of excuses coming into this tournament. They're nowhere to be seen. I want to see more of.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing really to add. It's just prove it on this second day, right, for SGG. I mean, there were some things that were said in the spring season that didn't quite work out for them. Apparently, all the
PMWI was party here. PMWI was party.
Right now, we need to see better from the current.
Liên Minh Thong.
Always could be new ones. Never know.
PMWI.
I agree. SGG definitely want to see more of. Let's take a look at our schedule to get you guys up
I'm
to date
doing
with
watch
what's
party
coming your way
PMWI.
today, and of course over the
Go and
next
watch
few
in
days
YouTube
as well.
live.
So starting things off on set. It's gonna be the exact same map order every single day. So one set hawk into 3 Erangels into 2. Now, obviously, this does allow teams to kind of get repeats, get extra reps in on the same battleground, one after another, where in the past it would always be a different battleground after another. So it allows you to make those adaptations. And I guess even technically the tough part is if you have like a good
Discord. No one's here. Huh? Share. Let me share on Instagram. I screen check my share to bro. Share your screen.